scriptures say God sits high above the round ball of earth.
All right, let's see it.
Where is this?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Isaiah 40:22. God sits high above the round ball of earth.
So this translation comes from the Message Bible, which is more of a paraphrase than a translation anyway. But the fact that translators chose to render the text this way is not evidence that that's what this word actually means. It's just evidence that some translators wanted to render it that way. And the fact that some translators are going to manipulate the text to serve certain apologetic interests, such as suggesting that this knowledge predated scientific understanding, that's not really a surprise.
Or this one here says, also Isaiah 40:22, and him who sits on the sphere of the earth.
So this is from a basic English translation of the Peshitta, or the Aramaic translation of the Hebrew Bible.
Or this one here says, it is he that sitteth upon the globe of the earth.
So this comes from the Douay Rheims translation of the Hebrew Bible, and again, this is not evidence, much less proof, that the text is actually describing the earth as a sphere or as a globe. It's just a choice that a translator made to render it that way. And translations frequently render their passages in ways that serve their rhetorical goals, up to and including injecting the text with apologetic claims. Now, why don't we take a look at the lexicon entries so we can see if there is a good case to make that this word can legitimately be rendered globe or sphere. So this is from Halot, which is the colloquial name for Kohler and Baumgartner's Hebrew and Aramaic lexicon of the Old Testament, one of the standard biblical Hebrew lexicons. And we see here both the noun form below and then the denominative verb form above. The noun form refers to a circle, the earth conceived as a disk, according to Halot. Also refers to the horizon on the sea or the vault of heaven, and the verb form based on the noun form means to describe a circle. Here is Klein's Dictionary of Classical Hebrew. This will be a little harder to read, but the idea is very similar. Horizon, vault of heaven, a circle, decreeing a circle, inscribing a circle upon the face of the waters to create a horizon around the earth. There's also a great entry in the Theological Dictionary of the Old Testament, which is a lot more thorough, and I'll just read the last part of this paragraph here on context. The first part is talking about the use of this word within the construction that includes the verb chok, talking about how it basically means to incise a circle. Down at the bottom it says, in other words, its meaning is limited to the circle of the earth or heavens, i.e. the horizon, in the double sense of the coastline on either side of the primeval river that circles the entire earth and separates it from the realm of the heavens. So the ancient idea here, the ancient cosmology, has the earth being surrounded by waters on all sides, and so this word can refer to the edge of that earth, that circle that goes around, or the outside horizon, the edge of the waters outside that circular disk of the earth. Now, the text in this video says that Gesenius translates this passage in Isaiah to refer to a sphere or a globe, and it does absolutely no such thing whatsoever. This is an edition of Gesenius from a little over 100 years ago, and you see Kreis, which does not necessarily mean sphere, primarily means circle, and as you can see in the description of the idea here, this is talking about that same disk of the earth and the circle that goes around it. But this edition came out decades after Gesenius died. So let's take a look at the first edition of Gesenius's lexicon. So while the entry itself here is a little different, the idea being described is identical. The disc-shaped concept of the earth. The earth exists as a circle on a disc surrounded by water. So you've got Kreis there, again, circle, Bogen, which means a bow or something like that. There is no sense in which this describes a sphere or a globe. So none of these lexicon entries supports rendering this word as globe, as sphere, as round ball of the earth. The use of this word pretty clearly indicates dry land was understood to be shaped in a circle as a kind of disk and to be surrounded by water that was delineated at the horizon by a larger circle. And here's a pretty decent illustration of what their ancient cosmology around the time of the composition of this passage would have looked like. So here we see the roughly disc-shaped dry land, which was dry because the vault of the heavens or the skies separates the waters above from the waters beneath. You have the foundations of the earth somewhat like roots underneath that disc, and then it is all surrounded by the chaotic seas that are themselves delineated by the line of the horizon. And the word in these passages that is used to refer to circle can describe both the edges of the dry land as well as the horizon that surrounds those seas.
It's
even I can find 20 other translation that says circle as mine says, King James Version, circle them.
Exactly. So you can talk your personal interpretation all day long. It doesn't change that right there on screen. It says in the Bible that the earth is a globe.
So in the end, these translations that render globe or sphere or round ball are going well beyond what the data support. The use of this word in the Hebrew Bible very clearly refers to a circle that defines the horizon, that goes around the seas that are understood to encircle the dry land that is in the center of this disk